This is Mark Bell from Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. I'm here today to show you a slow motion deadlift. I've been going over this the last couple weeks. I've been practicing it myself, and then I hit a PR deadlift. Had people asking a lot of questions about it. Now, just keep in mind, I've only done it for the last month or so. I did get some good results from it, but I'm not going to tell you that it's a piece of magic or anything like that, but I do feel that it's superior to pause deadlifts, and I'll show you how to execute them right here. So a pause deadlift, in my opinion, all you're really trying to do is get rid of some momentum. Same thing that you're doing with a spoto press. Same thing that you're doing with a pause squat. But this really gets rid of momentum big time because you're not trying to move fast at any point of the lift. For myself, I've been going with a little bit wider stance. Picked that up from Brian Shaw, as well as just something I played with a few years ago, and I deadlifted 699 in the meet. And it was just a stronger stance for me, so that's what I went with. May not be preferable for everybody, but I like to go a little wider stance, toes pointed out. All the same rules apply, but when I'm going to do a slow deadlift, as I wiggle into position here, again, always using the barbell to get yourself in position. As I wiggle myself in position, I'm just going to lift the bar 3 to 4 seconds on the way up, squeeze at the top for about 2 seconds, and 3 to 4 seconds on the way down. Obviously, as the weights get heavier, it gets to be harder to control that. Today, I'm going to go for a fairly heavy set of 8, which will probably make me shit my pants and make my nose bleed at the same time. That's pretty much how it should look. All the same rules still apply. Still trying to keep your back flat, still trying to get your hips lower than your shoulders, and you're still trying not to shit yourself. Okay, you saw the slow-mo pulls done with really light weights, but it's important to see the execution of it done as it's done in a given workout. Here I am with 315 pounds doing some repetitions. Silent Mike was doing sets of 8 on this day, so I thought it'd be fun to try to party with him, but I found out quickly that you can't do slow motion pulls for that many reps because you'll just have a heart attack and die.
When Mark says heavyweight, it's all relative to your 1 rep max, and it's relative to the exercise. So the weights we're using are still very light to our 1 rep max, and then just pushing that limit for us. So I think my final set was 500, which might be 70% or so. And
the slow pulls can be utilized in many different ways. I'm not trying to preach to everybody that they need to just go slow on their deadlifts, but bringing in some aspects of slowing down your deadlift or doing some tempo pulls, in my opinion, would be superior to doing just a regular pause deadlift that you're seeing a lot of people do. I think just taking a little extra time to really work on your form and to really feel every single muscle as you're pulling through the weights is crucial and important to do. I know Mike has had success slowing his deadlifts down, kind of in a different way, but he basically peels the weight off the ground, right, Mike?
Yeah, so you want to get as tight as you humanly possible off the ground. Then, personally, I pull with as much force as I can, but then I'm controlling the eccentric on the way down because that's what Ed Cohn kind of taught me, and now we call it the Ed Cohn style deadlift. But what Mark's doing, the tempo both ways, is very common in weightlifting, and it shows you control in all those spaces that you're weakest, which is what we're trying to do with the pause bench and a pause squat and everything else. Spend more time in the areas you're weak.
And I've built up a huge bench press over the years by utilizing slower tempos. A lot of times you guys see the big lifts that I do. You might see me do 530 for 3 or something. And Silent Mike gives me the best lift off in the history of the world. And I pump out 3 reps, and I do it very fast, and I do it very violently, as Dan's doing here with these deadlifts. But what you don't see is a lot of times I'm really taking my time with 315, 365, and weights like 405. And lifting them more methodically. So more so than just you trying to do the slow motion pulls, I'd like everybody just to think about pulling the weight more methodically and really thinking about what they're doing when they're deadlifting. All right, I just finished up slow-mo pulls. I was trying to do sets of 8, and then I realized I'm too fat, too obese. The time and retention is too long. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I just started doing these. So I realized that anything over about 4 or 5 reps is going to be too much. Probably going to want to keep it in the 2 to 3 rep range, to be honest with you. Especially when you're going 4 seconds on the way up, 2 second hold, 4 seconds on the way down. You do the math, that's a lot of seconds. But anyway, felt good. It's been something that I like doing, and something I'm going to continue to do. Give them a try in your program. I do feel they're superior to a static hold. You see a lot of people are doing these pause deadlifts nowadays. I feel it's superior to that because you keep within the same line of pull. I feel like, especially sumo, I see some people doing the pause deadlifts and your form starts to get a little funky, your knees start to shoot forward a little too much, and even conventional, maybe a little bit too much of a rounded back during the deadlift. So instead of the pause deadlifts, try to switch over, give the slow motion pull a try. I went from I haven't lifted anything heavy in a long time. I did 625 for 3 is the heaviest thing I've done in probably about 2 years. And just did a 705 pull a couple days ago. So give the slow motion pull a try and incorporate it into your program. Strength is never a weakness. And that is it from Super Training Gym. Later.
Thanks for watching the last video, guys. If you want more content, be sure to subscribe, like, share it. Leave your comments below on what you thought. If you want to see more content from the strongest gym in the West, be sure to click up here. And if you guys want the best gear in the powerlifting game, all the strength sports, slingshot, right over here.